Hello,
Yes.
everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name's Hannah Hale, and I'll be moderating today's session, eFile for SuccessFactors, Establishing a Governed, Efficient Personnel File. Today, we'll explore how eFile for SuccessFactors adds a structured, secure digital personnel file directly within SuccessFactors environment, helping organizations centralize employee records, strengthen compliance, and significantly reduce manual effort involved in managing HR documentation. Before we get started, just a quick housekeeping note. This is an interactive session, so please feel free to submit your questions at any time using the questions or comment section in the webinar panel. We'll collect those throughout the session and address as many as we can at the end. So now it's a pleasure to introduce our speakers today. We've got Daniel Rüger, who's a senior consultant and solution expert at Zalaris. He has deep experience in SuccessFactors and digital personnel file solutions. He works closely with organizations to design and implement structured document governance within their HR landscapes. We also have Stephen Jensen, who specializes in HR documentation management and SuccessFactors integrations. Stephen has extensive experience helping organizations modernize their document processes and establish compliant, audit-ready personnel file structures. Together, they'll walk us through the solution, its capabilities, and a live demonstration. Thanks. Over to you, Daniel.
Thank you, Hannah, for introduction. Today, I want to show you our People Hub eFile for SAP SuccessFactors. And our agenda today will be that I show you a rough overview of the solution. Afterwards, we go to features and functions. And then Stefan will show us a demo within our live system. And afterwards, we talk a little bit about projects, setup, implementation, transition, and support. And in the end, of course, interesting topic, pricing. By the way, Zalaris has around 20-year experience with many customers and requirements to run a digital personal file. Because we have a product on-premise for over 2 decades. And in this product, we have the most used and best features within this cloud-based solution. So let's start. Here is the overview about the Zalaris eFile solution, and we are very proud that it is 100% SuccessFactors based, means it's a side-by-side application with all the standards SAP has given to us. It's usable for all SuccessFactors users, and the very special thing is for inactive users like retired employees and pensioners can access the documents as well. Of course, the solution is country and location independent, so we have the possibility to set up different languages and so on. Within the solution, we have embedded 3 applications, one for managers, one for employees, and of course, for your HR team. The solution is built in the SAP BTP as a side-by-side application, as I mentioned, with all the cloud standards and APIs. You have all your documents stored in a secure and central location. And the very special is that you have completely access from everywhere. You can use it from your mobile phone, from your tablet, and from your computer to access the personal files and the personal data, the employee data. We have the CMIS standard, and the solution complies the ISO standard 27001. We are very proud to have an own document converter service, which converts all documents in PDF-A for long-term archiving and has an OCR functionality to enable full search within the product. Of course, our solution is listed in the SAP store in the People Hub eFile for SuccessFactors. We can have a look later on. Okay. The functions, of course, is uploading documents. You can import all documents from SuccessFactors. You can move and you can delete different documents. We have, for example, a deletion workflow with a 4 eyes principle and automated deletion via purge rules. You can change documents. You have an index over the documents. You can search for names, keywords, and full text search. Notes included reminder functions are available over an API as well. You have reporting functionalities like general reporting, logging of the solution, checklist, global search, file export, and a very handsome functionality is the completeness check, where you can search for missing documents all over your employees. It's very powerful and very nice. We will see it later on. How we can import data? Of course, first of all, we synchronize all SuccessFactors data from Employee Central module. So you have all employee data like job information, organizational information, name, photos, and so on within the solution. You can import documents over a QR code manually. So you can print a QR code page, put it on your scanner, and import paper you have on your desk, and you can put it into the solution and have it in a digital form. And bulk upload is possible as well. You can set reminders on documents, so you can remind yourself to do something on a document or with an employee. And of course, you can access all documents from the attachment center. Now I give you a short overview about the different applications within the solutions. Here we have 3. We have one application for the employee, one application for the manager, and one for the HR team. And the first is here the view. You see here the view. On the left side, you have your personal data. Here you have the structure. And on the right side, you see the content of the selected folder. And this is the tail within the SuccessFactors main page. You can, of course, view your personal data. You can search within all the documents for keywords. You can have a look into your documents. And of course, if it's a configuration topic, you can download and print your documents out of the solution directly. And for example, you can print your complete eFile out of the solution if you want. Okay, from manager's perspective, you can see your complete team on the right side, on the left side, and you see as well, if you select a team member, you can see the documents of the team member as well. You can have a look into the documents, you can download and print your file, and you have all the time all documents from your team in your pocket if you're using a mobile device. So this, of course, is the this very powerful application. Of course, the human resources team can do a lot of things and have to maintain the content of the personal file. So, of course, you can view and maintain all personal files based on your HR role. You can search, for example, for locations, departments, job titles, and you have multiple filter mechanisms available. You can search for keywords and full text as the employee as well. You can maintain metadata like archiving dates and keywords to find different documents as you want. You can create and maintain reminders and notes. And of course, you have the preview as well. And here you can import files, you can upload files, and we see it later in the demonstration. And of course, we have some mechanisms to support mass processing for download and print. So, and then we have a separate section for reports. And of course, we will see you can approve deletion requests in the workflow for delete documents. So then you can export it to personal files and search for files with the complete application. And as I mentioned, a completeness check against different patterns. Build checkpoints based on personal actions or identify missing documents. You can check your result of scheduled and periodic jobs, like scan, uploads, SuccessFactors document transfers, etc. You can view the action log. For example, every action on the system will be logged. So you have, in the end, an audit-proof solution with our eFile. And for example, if you upload mass data, you can check in the log what was uploaded and was not. So at this point, I overhand to Stefan, and he can show us the functionality live in the system.
All right. Thanks, Daniel. Let me share my screen. Just a second. All right. So then also from my side, a warm welcome. In the next couple of minutes, I'm sharing some insights of our SuccessFactors eFile solution. And to show you the solution, we have our SuccessFactors demo system. I use our HR employee, Tessa Walker, and I'm just logging into the SuccessFactors demo system. Right. So I guess you're all familiar with SuccessFactors since you are joining this session here to see an eFile for SuccessFactors. So that's the normal homepage of SuccessFactors. And first of all, I want to show you how to access the eFile. So at the bottom of the homepage, we have our eFile section, and we implemented different tiles to access the different roles Daniel just presented before. So as you can see here, Tessa Walker, she's employee of HR, therefore she has access to the HR tile, but obviously she's also an employee of the company, and therefore she has also access to employee self-service. The eFile HR Launchpad, that's just a general access to the eFile, but usually you are using more the roles directly. And when I click on the tile, you can see a separate tab is opening, and you are directly signed into the eFile. So that means in the background, we are using single sign-on. So once you are logged into SuccessFactors, you don't need to log in again to the eFile. So it's the same user, the same login you're using, and therefore it's directly opening, and you can directly access the eFile SuccessFactors. I'd like to start with the header section here. As you can see, you have different options to search for the employee and the eFile you want to access to. The search field here on top, it's called fuzzy search. It's kind of like a Google search. You can enter whatever you want, and it's also non-case specific. That's often good because you're not necessarily you need to use uppercase and lower cases. So for instance, I can search for just, let's say, Roy, and we will directly see wherever we can find Roy, for example, in the name. I just use the name now, or here's a user. Roy is somewhere in the name, it will show you this result in the hit list. So, or I can also say, okay, let's use for Cerise, and we have her here as well, and Teresa as well, because I didn't write the S and the A at the end. So that's a very powerful search engine. I think most of our users are mainly using this search. But in case you want to filter by different columns, that's also possible. Below this, like Google search field, we have different fields you can also search for. Let's say, for example, we have here the first name, and we had, as an example before, Cerise, I think it was the name, and we can search for the first name, or let's combine it. Maybe we can also say, okay, we know that the first name started like that, and then we also want to filter by last name, and we know her last name is Roy, so then we can also combine these kind of fields in one search. As you can see here, we have just a couple of fields available, so that's our default setting in our eFile, but you're also able to add more fields. As Daniel said, all the information you can see here, all the fields are coming from SuccessFactors. So you don't need to enter the data again. It's all synchronized in the background. And so you can add here, for example, if you want to search for department or company, or what else do we have here? Or you want to see email, you can add these columns, and then you can add them here in the search section, and you can search for it as well. So let's, oh no, I combined it here. Let's just get rid of it. And let's say we have a department. The department ID starts with 502. Okay, we don't have it. Let's, I will quickly check an example, because I cannot, I will come back to it later, but here now we can already see we have here department, and usually it should, maybe it's by name. Okay, yeah, I was searching for the ID, but here department, we can search for the name leadership, and as you can see now here, we have all the results for department leadership. And yeah, that's how it works with the search options. Yeah, as already presented, you can always use different columns, different fields to search whatever you would like to search for. And one additional powerful feature is here on top left. You can also save the values you were searching for. Let's assume a common search you use on a daily basis or weekly basis is searching for this department. You always want to access all the employees within this department. Then you can say here, I want to save the view as, and then you can give it a name. Let's call it like leader view. You can set it as default or as public. So public means that also other employees can use this view. But for now, I will just save it as a personal view. Okay, and when you go back to the standard, so that's also from the configuration perspective, it's as a default at the beginning, but then you can switch back to the leader view, and it's directly filled with the values you used to search for. And it will directly display all the required employees you want to have in the list. Okay, so these are the different options we have to search. And when you are familiar with SuccessFactors, I think it's pretty good to have these options, because in SuccessFactors you mainly use for ID or name. That's it. If you want to see all employees within a company or within a department, you often go directly into story reporting or into the reporting center, create a report, and then you have the list of employees. Here, I think it's easy to search also for different different values and different fields from SuccessFactors. All right, so that's when you are searching, and at the bottom I already did add a column here, but we also have a default set of columns we are showing in the list, but the same like for the search, you have the option to add columns you want to have in the list here. Yeah, you want to see maybe the location, the manager ID, or the username. So, and we can also remove some of them. Maybe we don't want to see, yeah, as a photo, maybe it doesn't make sense, but let's remove some of them here. And then you can see here, it's changing the columns that will be displayed in the results. All right, so that's how you search for employees within our in our eFile structure. And then let's maybe use one sample employee. I'm going with Miss Roy, and when I click on the employee, oh, it was here at the bottom, yeah. You can see on the right side that the folder structure is displayed. Here, just as a reminder, we are logged in as Tessa Walker, so she's HR, so therefore she's able usually to see all folders and all document types, but later we can also use, for example, employee self-service view. Then we are able to configure it that employees can only see a subset of document folders or document types, but we can also check later with the employee self-service view. In general, this is also like a standard structure of folders, but we are always flexible to customize it based on your requirements. We have the option to create multiple trees and subtrees of folders. Yeah, it's all depending on the requirements, but here we are quite flexible. At the moment, we have mainly 1 or 2 levels of folders, and then the green icon displays that this is a document type, right? So the others are folders, and all the green icons are the document types. And on a document type, later we will see it, we can import or place some documents. A good feature here as well is it's on the top right. So it displays only registers that contain documents. So at the moment, it is showing and displaying all folders, even when they are empty. But when you click on it, so now all are gone because this is a complete new employee without any document. We can check it later again. But if you want to see only the folders where documents are stored, then you can use this button to display only these folders, and you don't need to go into every single folder to check if there's a document available. The icon next to it, also quite useful. Often it's expand all registers. So when you want to open all folder structures, you can just click on it and you can see the complete structure with all different document types. So it's also useful if you want to check which kind of document types are in the structure, or where maybe a document type is stored. So that's also quite useful to use this icon on top right. And additionally, we have again the search field, so you can use it to either search for a folder or a document type or a document. At the moment, we do not have a document in the folder structure yet, but I can already just show you. If we enter cover, it's directly filtering what you enter here and just displaying so what you have in the folder structure. So it's also powerful to directly get where you want to be and where you want to access a document. All right, so that's in general the folder structure. And now we want to upload some documents to the employee. So let's, for instance, use the CV. And we have here at the bottom right different options how we can upload a document to the system. I think Daniel already showed it in the overview of features and functions. So let's say the easiest one and very common one is to upload it manually. So we click on the upload button. We have another view on the right side, and you can on top already see, okay, it's employee and the document type CV. And now we can use the upload button. So it's then, of course, opening the structure here, or if you already have it open, you can also use drag and drop. I think that's quite common to use it. I have here some sample documents, nothing special, just as a showcase. So we can drag and drop it here. So it's now not finally archived. It's just uploaded to the client. And we have the name of the document here. Maybe it was a scanned document, and sometimes they have just some numbers in the document name. So it can be sometimes useful to rename the document again if you forgot to name it before. So that's also which option you have. And then if you're fine with the document and the document names, of course, you can also upload multiple ones. Maybe we can just add an additional one. Yeah, doesn't make sense to have the now it opened. Okay, I'm already in the archive mode. Now maybe we can show it later again. But you can also upload multiple documents at once. And if you want to finally upload it, you tick the checkbox, and then at the bottom right, you have the archive button. And when you click it, you can give some additional keywords. For example, we can call it webinar. The keywords are flexible, what you want to store into these fields. For example, for migration projects, we often use a keyword to store some old IDs from the old system, so that you know where it was migrated from. And yeah, once you're done with adding the keywords you want to add, you can just say save. And then we have one document in the document types CV. Yeah, when I now click on the document, it is showing the document directly on the right side. So you have here just the sample document, so nothing special. But here you have like the document preview. And yeah, based on the documents, you have, of course, the options to print it, to download it. It's, of course, depending on the permissions, if you are allowed to download or to print it. So that's what we can configure based on the roles. So if you don't want that employees are allowed to download documents from the personal file, then we can, of course, remove the permissions. So it's all depending on your requirements. But yeah, here we are flexible what we want to configure in the permissions. All right. If you want to change the metadata, you can access it here again. So that's what we call the webinar keyword, but you can change it. You can edit here. You can do it per document. And yeah, maybe let's first continue with another way of importing a document. So we use now the manual upload function, but of course it's a SuccessFactors eFile and it's integrated with SuccessFactors. So I guess you are interested in seeing how we are importing documents from SuccessFactors, because yeah, in SuccessFactors you are also able to upload documents. And therefore I will just go back to SuccessFactors and search for our sample employee. So we can see here, and we can also see that the pictures, the names, and everything is the same due to the synchronization to our eFile. And let's just go to the personal information portlet and say, okay, we want to add a document here. So I will just use the birth certificate. So upload it into the personal information. Say save. Okay, it's the SuccessFactors workflow, but it's not important for now. And so the document is uploaded to the personal information portlet for our sample employee. And now I'm just going back to our eFile and use the SuccessFactors import button. And as you can see directly here on the right side, we can see that this document was uploaded to SuccessFactors with some information like personal information. It's all depending a bit on the SuccessFactors configuration, but we have the information from SuccessFactors from our document. And most important, you can see on the right side that's not archived yet. So, and if you want to say, this document was uploaded correctly in SuccessFactors, then you can tick the checkbox again and say archive. And here it's the same like we had before with the manual upload. Then we can say save. All right. And then we have the next document here in our birth certificate folder structure and document type. Okay. So that is, or this was the second option, how to import documents into our eFile. And just quickly coming back to our icons here on top. So I'm using this again, display all registers and document categories where we have a document. And now we can see it will just display the ones where we have documents inside. And if I use it again, it will also show the empty ones. Yeah, and the first one we already know, that is opening the full structure of the eFile. Okay. Then next to the manual upload and to the SuccessFactors import, we have an additional option. Daniel already mentioned it in the PowerPoint slides before. We can generate cover sheets with QR codes in the file. So if you, for instance, have a document or paper-based document and you want to scan it directly into this eFile, into this document type. So let's say, let's say we have a cover letter in front of us and we want to scan it directly into this eFile and document type. You have the option to generate the cover sheet. So it was directly downloaded. Okay, on my side, it's on another screen. So I will just quickly share it. So, and as you can see, we have some information on the cover sheet, but most important, the QR code. The QR code also includes all the information we see below. And now you can print this document and put it as a front page on your document. Go to the scanner and scan the document to an FTP or SFTP or network folder. And there we can just get the documents which were scanned and import it directly into the right eFile of the right person and also into the right document type. It's a bit difficult in a webinar to show the scanning and FTP server and so on, but I think it should be clear how it works. And using this QR code, it's quite common for paper-based documents importing into a digital eFile. Okay, so these are the ways how to import documents into the system. Maybe one additional feature I quickly want to share is the notes function. For CVs, we enabled it. I'm not sure for birth certificates, for example, we have not enabled it. So it's based on the document type. You can say, okay, for CVs, we would like to have the option to take notes and reminders. So, and here we can say, okay, the CV, let's say on 1st of April, I need to check if it's still valid or whatever you want to be reminded to. So, and then we can save it. Okay, and now the good thing is that this node is synchronized with the SuccessFactors to-do list, and you will be notified within SuccessFactors. I think you know the feature when you have some to-dos in SuccessFactors that you will be notified, and this will be the same then, that this is directly integrated, and you don't need to go into the eFile to check the nodes. Of course you can if you are already here, but I guess often you are more in SuccessFactors, and then you will be notified there as well, and then you can come back here and check yeah, the to-do you have here, you added as a node. All right, so this is basically it. Of course, yeah, full text search, you can switch it off and on. It's of course performance consuming, so if you don't need it, then I would recommend to keep it off. But if you need it, then just use it. Yeah, sometimes if it's really necessary. But yeah, it takes a bit longer when you use the full text search, especially when you have a lot of documents in the structure or in the eFile. Then it's taking some time. But yeah, if you need to search for something within the documents, then of course you can use it. Okay, I think that's basically it for the general overview of the eFile. And maybe before we are coming to the reporting, I will quickly show you the view of employee self-service. So check here, and I go to the tile again where we have employee self-service. So now, even if I'm the same user, I'm Tessa Walker, and in this view, we just went through, I was Tessa Walker as HR role. Therefore, I was able to see all different employees, all document, all folders, and so on. But now I accessed our eFile as employee, and that's a normal view what a normal employee has when they are accessing their own eFile. So as you can see, they are not able to search for any employees, because they can only see themselves. And on the right side, the general functionalities and features are the same, but here we have just a subset of folders. And again, that's always depending on your requirements, if employees should see all document or folders, document types, or just a subset. For our demonstration and for our webinar, we always use just a subset, to see that an employee is usually not able to see all documents within the eFile. Yeah, the rest of the features are the same, so I think that's pretty clear. And we had it before, so I think just quickly to show you the view of an employee as employee self-service. We'll close the employee self-service and come back to our HR view. And now, just checking the time. Okay, we have a few minutes left. I will go to the reporting features we have. And to access the reporting features, I will go to the admin launchpad. Here now I'm able to use the admin launchpad because Tessa Walker is also in the admin role, but it's not necessarily the case that HR also has access to admin launchpad. So these are two different roles. And it's depending who must have access to the admin launchpad. So here in this section, we have not only the reporting options, we also have the options how we are configuring the folder structure, which kind of document types we have, how the tree looks like. This is also all done here. And it's I think it could be a separate webinar for administrators to go through all of these. But yeah, we are as said, flexible how the folder structure looks like. But for now, we want to check or to start for reporting with a completeness check, because I think it's very powerful and very useful for HR departments. So when I click on the completeness check tile, we have a similar view again. It's all Fiori based. So if you're used to Fiori, I think you're also directly familiar with our client and UI. And let's assume we want to check for some employees if they uploaded, let's take the CV. So they all are new employees. Let's just take some of them here. And say, okay, these employees are new joiners and they joined our company, and we asked them to upload a CV to the eFile. And we like now to check if they already did. Okay, and then therefore I click on the category. So the category is document type. So we have here all different kind of document types. We could, of course, also search for multiple ones. But for now, we want to check if they uploaded the CV. And we also must specify a date range, within which date range they uploaded the file. So let's assume, okay, from 1st of Jan to end of March, they had the chance to upload the CV. We can use additional fields and keywords to filter, but for now I think that's fine. And then we say, okay, go. And since it's a demo system, of course, employees are not uploading the documents directly, but we can see here for these documents, I think we marked 8 and all 8 are here, and exist is false, right? And now we are uploading, for example, for Barbara Kent. So let's quickly access the eFile again, and we use Barbara. Oh, I think there's a typo. Barbara, yeah, we have Barbara Kent here, and we are searching for CV, and we can just upload one sample CV here. Right. So that's what we have done before. So and now Barbara Kent, she has a document in CV. And going back to the completeness check, I keep all the filters here and just go to the go button again. So let's say I refresh, and now we can see, okay, Barbara Kent, she uploaded a sample CV to the eFile, and so that's good. That's so she's done with uploading the file, but maybe we should send reminders to the other employees here, and so that's how it works here. And we're also flexible with with picking the right employees. Oh no, we don't want all of them because it takes too long. But you can also search, for example, let's say we have a business unit corp. So then we can also say click all employees of the core business unit. Yeah, okay, now we have 427, quite a lot, but it's still possible. And yeah, maybe the corp ones, they needed also to upload whatever, some what do we have, employee agreements, they need to sign it and upload it. So and then we can also say go. Or maybe, of course, yeah, it takes a while because we used 476 employees. Now it's running through every eFile to check if the documents are in this eFile structure, and then at the end it's showing the list. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure how long it will take. Maybe 1 or 2 minutes. So maybe not waiting for it now. But I think the use cases should be clear of the completeness check and how it's working. Okay, and maybe another option we have for reporting is search files. So I would also quickly access this reporting option. And let's assume you want to search for documents not based on one employee. You want to search for documents based on the document type, for example. Before we were always accessing one employee eFile, and we were just seeing the files of this employee. But now in this option here, we have the possibilities to search for document types and not based on the employee. So maybe we can just use again the CV, and I think we also uploaded a birth certificate, for instance, and then just say go. Yeah, and now as you can see here, you see all employees which have category or document type CV and birth certificate. You can also export the list, and you can download the documents. So that's also often a use case we see in our project, so that they want to search for documents not based on the employee. It's more based on the document type, location, cost center, whatever. And therefore we have this additional reporting option in the admin launchpad as well. All right, just checking my notes. I think there's one, not last, but one last we want to show today is the deletion request and deletion or purge runs. So just want to mention so that we have the option to configure the 4i principle, and then you can, within the admin panel, you can approve the deletion requests so that it's always done by at least 2 persons. And the second part is manage purge runs. So here you have the option to define different times based on the date fields we have in SuccessFactors, like termination date, creation date, archive date. You can configure the purge rules, and then usually on a daily basis, the job is running and trying to find the documents that must be deleted from the system. But yeah, due to the time, just checking, and we have some slides left, so I will now hand over to Daniel to go through the rest of the PowerPoint slides. Thanks for listening for now.
Thank you, Stefan. So, okay, I give you a short overview about how we run a project to implement the eFile solution for you. And we can do that in a very fast approach. We need around 10 days to set up the complete environment for you. And of course, infrastructure setup, sub-account, create destinations, integrate services for authentication. And then with you, from your point of view, you need to define how should be your folder structure, what document categories you need, and who has access to which folders, documents, and so on. As we've seen, for example, you need to define the deletion workflows and rights, who has to do what. We have everything prepared in some workbooks, maybe sometimes Excel-based, and if we are ready, we can upload the configuration and customizing the system. You test the functionalities, and then you can start to use the application in your productive environment. Of course, afterwards, you need to migrate some documents. You can migrate documents over the existing APIs, and get data and documents from existing archives or on-premise systems and so on. We have the special functionality that you can use automated roles. We have 3 roles: ESS, MSS, and an HR role. You can use the IAS service to use these roles in your system, or you can define separate or personal roles for your demand. Minor adjustments you can do by yourself. You have seen the configuration overview. You can do a lot of things by yourself, so you're not dependent from a consultant team. Let's see, of course, after the go live, we have a transition in our support environment. We have a web-based help desk. Behind is a C4C system from SAP, and we can give you second level support, and you can access the support via email or via web interface. Okay, and then last but not least, how much is it? Okay, the pricing. As I mentioned in the beginning, we have listed the solution in the SAP store, and the standard pricing is set on 115 per file per month, and the standard setup fee is around 12K. So we can start with, I don't know, 100 employees and so on. And for large companies, what starts from our point of view with 1,000 employees, we are of course able to negotiate prices and so on. Exactly. Good. For customer-specific requirements, of course, it's sensible to have maybe a small project budget beside the standard implementation. And that's from my side. Now it's time for questions.
Yeah.
Maybe
Awesome.
you have something.
Well, thank you so much, Daniel and Stefan, for walking us through the solution. I guess, as regulatory pressure increases and organizations are managing employee data across more systems and geography, it's really great we're able to help organizations address these challenges of, directly within the SuccessFactors solution. I've seen a couple of questions come through from the audience. We are at the top of the hour, so we'll probably just get to a few of them quickly. But if you haven't had time to submit, put them in now. And if we don't have time to get to them live, we'll round back with the answers directly. So we've got one from Susan who says, can organizations bulk import documents from legacy systems or shared drives? This may also be relevant for SAP customers that may be looking to migrate from on-prem to cloud, I guess, as well.
Yeah, I can take the question. So in projects, we have different options, or we usually see different topics. So one part is we saw in the demonstration the QR code, the cover letter sheet or the cover sheet. And often customers still have some paper-based e-files, and they have a scan supplier, and they have a lot of documents they need to scan. And then we are using these QR codes, put them on front of the documents, and then we scan, or the scan supplier scans the complete batch of documents. And then, as shown, we can import these documents directly in the right document type and in the right e-file. This is one option, mainly for paper-based. And the other option is we have technically an API that's commonly used for migration projects. As Daniel said, we also have our on-premise e-file for a lot of customers. And when they are now moving to the cloud e-file solution, we use our API to migrate these documents. And there, of course, we are super flexible with naming conventions and so on. And yeah, that's usually used for bulk imports. Yeah, that's definitely possible.
Great. We've got another question here. Can we import documents from SuccessFactors automatically?
Yes, we can. Of course, as a demonstration, it was easier to do it manually and to show, okay, the document is coming to our e-file system. Technically, it's possible, and we also did it for some customers, but it's always depending a bit on the SuccessFactors configuration, because in SuccessFactors, the document handling is not that easy. You need to know which document type is the right one. Yeah, so that's basically the topic. You first need to check if it's obvious which document type is in SuccessFactors, and then you can also, fetch the documents on a daily basis or schedule based. Yeah.
Okay, great. That makes sense. And we've got a question here from Ranjit. Is it possible to create custom roles besides HR, employee, and manager that you mentioned?
Yes. That's possible. So the 3 roles are the default roles we are always providing to our customers, and they are also dynamically assigned. So you can say, for example, the HR role is assigned based on a department in SuccessFactors. So there's the HR department, and all the employees in this department will be assigned automatically to this role. But besides these 3 roles, when you are using customized roles, you can do so, but then you also need to maintain them manually. So you need to add the right employees to the roles by yourself in the admin panel. But yeah, that's then possible for customers.
Great. And I think we've got time to sneak in one last question. We have an existing archive in our company. Can we use the existing one as well? So does we integrate with third-party solutions, I guess? Yeah.
Yeah, I think, Daniel, you had it on one slide that we are using the CMIS standard. So as long as the archive is able to use this standard, then of course we can also use existing ones. Then you don't need to use another one. Makes sense to have one centralized archive. Yeah, that's possible.
Okay, great. Well, we are at the top of the hour, so thank you, speakers, for a great session. Thank you for everyone for joining us today and for the great questions. If you'd like to learn more or to set up a bespoke kind of demo, please feel to reach out. We really appreciated everyone taking the time to join us, and we hope you found the session valuable, and have a great day. Thank you so much.